Should you release singles or EPs or an album? That is the question that I want to answer in this video, so let's dive right in. So as a music producer, as an artist these days, you want to put out music, and the question is, in what format do you do this? Now, I got this question from one of the audience members, and you, by the way, can also ask me questions and I will maybe make a video on it. And he asked me that he's now compiling 10, 12 tracks, he has really good ideas, and everything seems to come together, and now he's strategizing and asking himself, what is better? Is it better to release a couple of singles or a couple of EPs, or maybe put together a full-length album? Now, here's my answer on that. The question is where you stand in your musical journey. So that specific guy is pretty much at the early stages still. Now, in the early stages, I think the best strategy these days is to put out singles consistently for at least a year. So maybe one track a month is a really good rhythm to be in. And the reason why you want to do this is, first of all, you are sharpening your skill set extremely. That means you are compiling great ideas, arranging them, selecting the best ones and releasing just one of those ideas. And for the next month, you do this cycle again. And this gives you really good feedback, really quick feedback also. So you put something out, you immediately see the reaction of the crowd, you see that your skills are getting better. And once again, when you release something, your mind is freed up to take in new creative input, which is something that I've talked about in a lot of other videos as well. So in the beginning, this is the best strategy to use, and then you can move into EPs. So an EP is typically 2 to maybe maximum 6 songs. I think the sweet spot is 2, 3, 4 songs. That is the range that I would consider an EP to be really valuable. And you can release them quarterly, for example, or every 6 months, but not less than that. But a quarterly EP, for example, is really good because you first of all compile a couple of tracks and you are training a different skill set. And that is the skill set of putting together a body of work. Because you cannot just randomly put tracks together and release as an EP. They have to somehow fit together, almost like a mini album. And so you are training a different skill set that is then later on valuable if you want to put out a full-length album. So the other skill set that you're training here is the promotional skill set. Because if you put out a track every month, for example, if you put out a track every month, for example, then you don't have that much mental bandwidth to promote every single release. But with an EP every quarter, it's different because you have actually a couple of months to prepare the release. So you can reach out to blogs and magazines, you can pitch to Spotify playlists and so on and so forth. You can send it to DJ promo lists. All of these things become possible. You have the time and mental bandwidth, and you can actually put a little bit more love into the actual promotion strategy for your release. Then at some point, it gets interesting because you have found your style. You have found what's unique about you, and this is a good place, maybe also build a little fan base, and that is a good place to operate from if you want to write a full-length album, because you know where you're going artistically. You have an idea what this album could be about. And an album gives you the opportunity to expand on an artistic concept a little bit deeper. So that means if you put together a body of work that is bigger than an EP, it allows you to go much deeper in exploration, in sonic exploration, but also concept-wise. For example, there might be a certain period in history that you're interested in, and you're reading loads of books about that, and you kind of want to use that in your artistic concept. Or you are a sci-fi fan and you have a lot of interesting fantasies or weird dreams maybe, and you want to make an album about that. All these things are make much more sense if you do this in album format compared to singles or EPs. Now, also here you need this larger promotional skill set that you've gradually built up towards by releasing EPs quarterly. Because obviously you want to explain that concept to the world. You want to have a little bit more impact with your album artistically and make a stance in the scene. And once you release this album, maybe even with the team that supports you, like a PR company, all of these things make sense when you do an album, then you have made an artistic standpoint and statement. That is the main reason why you want to do an album these days. Leave some kind of a more impactful statement in the scene. This is almost impossible to do with a single, for example, and really difficult to do with an EP. And this is also where it might make sense to collaborate with other producers, some bigger artists maybe. You want to remix some of your tracks of that album to create the promotion. And so all of that starts to make sense if you do it this way. Good. After this album cycle is over, you can then go again into the exploration phase and try to figure out what singles and EPs might come next, because then you want to show people that you are going into a slightly different direction and you are evolving as an artist, and that you're not just interested in repeating yourself. All right, so I think this is it, my answer for this question whether you should release singles, EPs or albums. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful. Also let me know what strategy are you going for right now. And if you have a question that you want to have answered, also leave a comment below and I might do a video on that specific topic. All right, that is it for this one. See you in the next video. Bye bye.